Hello YouTubers, in this pre-intro thought I would show up on the screen exactly what you need. This is the parts that I use, the types of tools I need, and the quantities that you'll use. And I'll put a link to all of this that I use down in the description below, so it's easy for you to find exactly what I'm talking about versus seeing a list on the screen. Also, in the video, please note that when I say 14 millimeter, I actually mean 13 millimeter. My bad, I make mistakes. So anyway, when you hear 14, go 13. Anyway, YouTubers, let's jump to the video. Hello, YouTubers. In this video, we're going to be changing the oil in my 2018 Audi A4 Premium Plus 2-liter Non-Quattro car. There's quite a few videos on how to change the oil on the Quattro cars. They seem to be much more prevalent than the non-Quattro cars, so I thought I'd make a video for those of us without the Quattro. So let's jump into the video and go over what YouTubers, it goes without saying, when you jack your car up or prop it on ramps, apply the emergency brake, get the car, be safe. No reason to be foolish on this thing. So be safe. The other piece of this too is when I put the ramps, get ready to roll the car up on the ramps, what I do, just so you know, is I shove the ramps to the wheel while it's on the ground, getting some sort of bite underneath it. And that way when I'm ready to crank the car and pull it up, it goes right up on the ramp. I don't roll to the ramp. The ramp is at the edge of the tire before I even crank the car up. Okay, so here are the parts we're going to need for the job. We're going to have oil, an oil filter, a ratchet, a couple of sockets, a couple of Torx bits, and a tool I use with Torx bits, an oil drain pan plug, and an oil drain pan plug tool. I'll go over that in just a second. So the oil, let's cover that real quick because it's important. On this particular car, it requires VW 508. Not sure if you can see that, but you want to make sure you get the VW 508 specification, because that is what they say is the minimum requirement for the oil. Not just Mobil 1 0W20. Not all Mobil 1 0W20 is 508 compliant. This particular oil is, so this is what you have to have. You should have. We have an oil filter, an HU 6013. All of these parts will be put in the description below so you know what to buy. And a listing to the tools. So we have a ratchet, 3/8 ratchet. We have a 32 millimeter socket that's going to be used to get the oil filter housing off so that we can replace the oil filter. We have a 14 millimeter socket and 2 Torx bits. So half these tools could go away if it wasn't for the tray. All of this is necessary to get the tray off underneath the car so that you can complete the service easily. 14 millimeter socket is to remove a couple of bolts, which we'll cover, and you have a T30 and a T20 that's used to also get the tray off. So if it wasn't for the tray, all you'd need is a socket and a 32 millimeter and an oil pan drain plug tool. So this is the drain plug. I buy one of these every time I change the oil. They're a couple of dollars. This tool goes in here and you loosen it up. Anyway, that's what that is. These are the parts and pieces you need to complete the job, so let's jump into it. Okay, YouTubers, the 14 millimeter goes here. On each side, there's one over there. The T30s go here, and the T20s are going to come back here, back here, and along the front, right there. So you're going to T20s, T30s, and the 14 millimeter. Let's get this panel off, and we'll go from there. Okay, YouTubers, this is the pan. Out of the car, the orientation will make sense when you're under it and doing it yourself. I thought I'd bring it out just to show you what you're looking for. So these are T30 bolts, screws, excuse me. This one comes out physically. These here all lock in. So all you're trying to do here on these three is unscrew them halfway and they'll come loose. Same way with these just come loose, they twist, they don't come out, twist off. These here actually come out. These are T30s as well on either side. Unscrew. This is, again, this doesn't come out. Well, excuse me. Yeah, this comes out. This T30 along with that T30. Those two came out. The rest are all unscrews halfway and they'll pop loose. Then you got a pin and a plug right here. That hooks to the inner fender liner that you'll see. Make sure you undo that. Just pull it, unscrew it with a T30. It'll loosen and then you'll be able to just pull this plug out. So those are the pieces and parts and how to get this thing out from under the car. Next, we're going to hop underneath there with our oil drain pan tool, oil drain plug tool, and we're going to be loosening this guy here from under the car. So let's, okay, YouTubers, here is our drain plug right here. Our drain plug tool that pops in right there. So all we're going to do is unscrew that. Let's get our drain plug, drain receptacle, oil receptacle ready. And we'll loosen this guy up. Oops, so I'm trying to do this and record. And that's it. So we got our oil plug out, and I'll be replacing this with the new one. Okay, while the oil is draining below, what we're going to do now is change out the filter. So we got our 32 millimeter socket, and we're going to put the ratchet on that, loosen up the oil filter, and change it. So we're getting ready to loosen this up and change out the oil filter. Okay, YouTubers, so we got the oil filter out. We're getting ready to change it out with the new one here. And one thing to notice, this thing has a ring. Your new oil filter should come with a ring, O-ring. So make sure you oil that up, put it back on here. Now to get this out, we'll use a pick. Now that's one thing I didn't show you on the tools needed, but you will need a pick. I'll go back and put that on the video. So anyway, let's get a pick, get this O-ring off, and we'll put on the new one and grease it up and pop in the new filter. So YouTubers, again, this is the pick, just a regular pick. This is what I use to grab behind it, excuse me. So we just go like this and we'll pull it out. YouTubers, when you change out the filter, make sure it's in here with some tension. It's gonna pop out. When you go to put the other one back in, it needs to click like that. Make sure you do that. It's not just going to fall out and push back in. Make sure it goes in and clicks. And we'll cover it. YouTubers, on this, we need to tighten the oil filter housing down to 19 foot-pounds. Tighten that down to 19 foot-pounds. That's the only recommendation. Everything else is just going to be tight. Okay, YouTubers, so I got the oil plug started, and what you'll notice is that when it goes in, it's going to eventually kind of click. I don't know if you could tell, but that's as far as it wants to go. Don't force it. There is nowhere else to go. It will go and seat itself to where it needs to be. So now we're done with the bottom of the engine. Okay, YouTubers, just have to finish adding the oil. I got 1.5 quarts left. The last time, right on the money, half quart. So finish adding the oil and we'll button this thing. YouTubers, that was it. That was the oil change. It's done. Everything buttoned back up. Everything with the tray was just reverse. I will say where I said there was a 14 millimeter socket, it's actually a 13 millimeter socket. So I misspoke there. I'm going to put it at the beginning of the video and clarify that up front. But the rest of it is very easy. Just button the pan back up and put your oil in. 5.5 quarts is what this car takes. 0W20 508.00 specification. Not just API, not just SPI, but it's got to be 508.00 is what you're looking for on the oil. So, YouTubers, if you like the video, like the video.